Hi, I'm Jaredyn,
And I'm Cami.
and we're the TAs for the Foundations 212 course.
Yeah, so we're in Brother Julander's section, so you may not recognize us those from Brother Morris's section, but we love you anyway, so
we
it's
do.
okay.
Yeah. So today we're going to be talking about personal accountability and becoming.
Yeah, and so one thing that we found is related to that, that's in the gospel, is agency.
In agency, we have the right to choose, but we don't get to choose the consequences. And I found that we have to figure out what choice we're going to make, and knowing that, like, there's
so many outcomes.
exactly. There's so many outcomes, and it can be really difficult in many circumstances.
And that's where personal accountability comes in, is because if we can be personally accountable to ourselves, then we have the power to become who God needs us to be.
Yeah.
And so that was kind of fun. As I was talking about God, there's like this nice light showing. Just kidding. Anyway, no, but that honestly is why we need to become, like, why we need to be personally accountable, so we can become what God has in store for us. And so something that we wanted to focus on is giving you a couple steps so you can better your experience in this class and hopefully within your life.
So a lot of us, for the first step, is we tend to come up with excuses to avoid what we should be accountable for. So there's different ways of doing that, including waiting, blaming, ignoring, and denying. So
How often have you done that in a class?
yeah.
Like you've waited to do an assignment, you've blamed your other team members, you've kind of ignored your responsibilities, and then you just like
Deny
nope,
it.
not
You're
me.
like, peace out. I'm not ever talking to them again. That's
It
not
happen-
accountability.
Yeah, it happens to all of us though, so we need to be able to learn how to eliminate those excuses. And if you have ideas, we'd love to hear them. So
What do you do to change your ways of accountability and
Of,
to
like,
fix your
eliminating excuses?
Yeah.
well, I think I just remember like what I have to give to a project. Like I have something important that I need to share. I have something that's of worth to the other students and to my teacher. And so by doing that, like I really don't have an excuse to like withhold that information.
One word that's become really relevant to me this semester is the word commit. For some reason, because sometimes I like to ignore or deny or blame, and lately I've just used that word as my motive to say, hey, you can't do that. Just commit and keep going.
Yeah. And as you like commit to these things, you'll be able to establish expectations. And this is step number 2. So establishing expectations is like letting yourself know what you expect from this project or from whatever like, idea that you're going forward with.
Yeah, so you might have an end goal, but then throughout the process to that end goal, you might want to set expectations throughout that. What am I going to do to improve? How am I going to become better? How am I going to learn from this mistake?
Yeah, and that's something that you can learn more about in the field guide as well. There's the learn from failure and iterate.
Yeah.
Something that I've been doing personally for this one is most of you know that I am working with taking on domestic violence. And within that project, we had to set the expectation that we're going to be ever changing. And so that means that we're going to be able to learn from our failure and see like how far we can go from that. And we've had little failures here and there, and some things haven't worked. We've changed our logo a couple times. We've changed our how might we questions, and that's okay because we established that expectation from the very beginning.
I think that's what's amazing about design thinking, is because you have the permission to flow and to change and to learn from that failure.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah. So next, so something that we kind of thought would help with establishing those expectations was to create SMART goals. So some of you might know what a SMART goal is, and you might have done it before, but what is it called when each one stands for the letter?
Is it like
An acronym?
Yes,
An acronym.
This is an acronym.
We have an acronym for you. It's SMART. And
It's
so you're
SMART.
going to be smart in your personal accountability. So S is for specific. So by specific, like you're explaining exactly what your goal is. And then by measurable, you can like keep track. You can keep progress of keep track of your progress basically. And then action oriented, it shows that you have something you can do throughout the progress. And then realistic, you don't want to set a goal like, I'm going to become a doctor within a year, okay? But you want to set up those you want to set up those short-term realistic goals. So like, I'm going to work on past anatomy with it. Say you're not very good at anatomy, you might have to set a realistic goal to get a C. So, which hopefully not, but for time bound, then you keep track of when you do your assignments and how you do them, and you want to get that B or A within the semester, obviously. So that would be a shorter term goal that you can actually action out throughout the semester that is time realistic, right? Yeah. Does that make sense? So instead of becoming a doctor like that, like within that period,
you can just work on your grades in general. Like, how will that help you in the future to obtain that much bigger goal? And something that's really cool about SMART goals is that it helps you become super real with yourself. Like, you can't lie to yourself in these situations because you have to measure them. Like, it's something that you cannot skirt around. You're definitely going to like, if you use these, you could be so successful because you'll be able to see the progress that you're making to become who you need to be.
Yeah, so with SMART goals, they can be applied to a lot of areas of your life. So I like to apply them to like somewhere spiritual, somewhere with school, what's another area? Exercise, fitness,
social activities.
Yeah, social, like for example, for me, sometimes I have a hard time going out to socialize, and that's real, but for me, I like to push myself out to go do that. So trying to figure out where you're at, being real with yourself, and then applying a SMART goal to those areas of your life will really help.
And a lot of you have either served missions or preparing to go on missions. If you're preparing to go on a mission, these are going to be great for you to use on your mission. If you've gone on a mission, you should have already learned how to do these. And if not, we're trying to teach you now, because this is something you can use for the rest of your life to really help you be much more successful.
Yeah. So,
and then last but not least, you need to evaluate and give yourself feedback at the end of these SMART goals. Like, since they're time bound, they shouldn't be forever. They should be within a month, I'm going to do this, and this is how I'm going to do it. This is how I'm going to measure it. This is the action I'm going to take. And it's realistic, right? We just went through all those steps. But at the end, you could go back and be like, all right, did I do it? Did I measure it correctly? Did I do everything on my action plan? And see if you succeeded in that goal this time, or if maybe you need to tweak the goal and try it again. And that's okay. Like, that's what we talked about, from learning from failure and being able to do it over and over and over again.
So we just want you guys, for your assignment, to do 3 SMART goals that apply to you. It can be in anywhere, any part of your life, and just show those to your TA, and that's your tab video. So
yeah. And your TAs will be reminding you to evaluate at the end. We want to know your time frame so that we can help you keep yourself accountable until you can do it yourself. Yep. So we love you. Thank you so much.
We're here for you. Love you. Bye.
Bye.